So where are we going? Are we live yet? I'm guessing we are. We haven't got a count through, but hi everyone. Welcome back to WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're doing well. This video, as always, is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com. Please go click the link in the description below. That will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website, where you can purchase retro kits from the shirts, I should say, from the 60s all the way through to the early 2000s, including the 1976 home shirt that inspired this season's home kit, the 1980 Trevor Brooking FA Cup final shirt that inspired this season's away kit. There's also Admiral and Umbro track jackets, polo shirts, West Ham coloured shirts as well. So go check those out. Any purchases made through the link in the description below. The commission that the channel would normally get, I will be looking to try and donate to the NHS, because at the end of the day, guys, we know how massively underfunded and how massively overworked they are in these very, very difficult times. So, guys, I hope you're all doing well. And you can hear me this time, of course. I did check. I did make sure that the audio was fine, but you never know. Hello, Rick. Good to see you again, mate. I hope you're doing well. This is more of a catch up, or an update, I should say, on the video that I did last week, talking about the potential delay to the Premier League that's going to be coming up in the next few days. Now, and hello to Ian as well. Good to see you, mate. Now, as you may or may not know, there was going to be an announcement on Friday to see where we're going to be with the extension to the Premier League. Now, this is the interesting thing. This is why I titled the video, "Why is money more important than people?" All right. Reason being is because, as we will know from the government's announcement over the weekend, that this lockdown could continue for anything up to, and I want to make that clear, up to 6 months. Okay. So we could potentially, at the very, very latest, get our lives back September, October, at the very, very latest. Now, that's going on current figures at the minute. Now, that could obviously change. Now, also, what I wanted you guys to talk about, and let me know your thoughts on this, of course, because obviously we are in day 11 now of the official lockdown since Friday week. And I hope you guys are all coping with things. I'm struggling. I really, really am struggling with it. It's very, very difficult times for everybody. You know, there's people I want to go and spend time with, and I can't, much less, obviously, speaking to you guys as well. It's always helps. And yeah, just reading this morning, I did have a video that was ready to go last night, but by the time it was all ready and done, it was too late to upload it. So I thought I'd do it today. But it's also quite convenient he comes into it as well, because bearing in mind, reading today, that obviously, over the last couple of days, people are going to be very quite worried. Let's have a look. Where the West Ham fan says, "Hello, mate. Good to see you. Void or continue." Now, I'll come to that in a minute. Now, the thing is the fact that the Premier League are still trying to get the games all resumed by end of June, beginning of July. Now, although I get it, I understand the reasons behind it. The things that are being talked about over the last few days are very, very worrying. All right. From a sports fan's perspective, of course, we want to try and see the sport back as quickly as possible. However, from a morality, logic point of view, why would you want to risk taking people away from their families, quite frankly, to play football? If one person in either squad gets symptoms, those two squads are gone. Those two squads are done for at least a fortnight. Why would you run the risk? It's because the Premier League is going to have to pay money. They have to pay the money back to the TV distributor companies, which include, but aren't just, BT Sport and Sky. Because, as you guys know or may not know, every single game is broadcast all over the world in different guises, not just here. You know, there's the Soccer Network in Canada, for example. They get games, or the majority of the broadcasts are the same ones that NBC Sports show, that are on Sky. Granted, but 3 o'clock kickoffs are still broadcast all around the world. Games that aren't being broadcast on BT and Sky are still being broadcast all over the world. So it's not just Sky and BT. So I understand why people just blame those two, but it's not. It's the TV deal distributor company or companies themselves that are more liable for this in terms of that, because obviously, otherwise the Premier League gonna have to pay the money back. So why would you want to isolate players from their families and risk them? Because it's, as Gonzo said with his video that he did last night or that went up this morning, he's of completely the same mind of me, which is good, because I like it when other people think the same way of me. It just kind of means that I'm thinking the same thing as everybody else. Why would you run that risk? Why would you want to put people at risk? Because it's not just the starting squad. It's the substitute, it's the managers, it's the camera team, it's the press officers, blah blah blah. You name it, they're all. It's all there. That's where so you're not really adhering to these rules. Now, I massive respect to the Premier League and everybody to stop games before the government did. Massive respect for that. Don't respect if we see football between now and when the lockdown is lifted. I really don't. Now, to come back to the West Ham fans thing, void or continue. In this instance, neither. As I said when this first came out, it was this first situation happened when we got into the nation got into lockdown. You take the season as it was and keep it there, which means we give Liverpool the title. But at the same point, I don't think it's fair to give Leeds and West Brom automatic promotion in the same guise. And the reason why I don't think it's fair is because for the same reason why I don't think it's fair that the relegations should be given as well. Because other teams have to fight for their places. It's the whole point of that's why it's a sport. That's the whole definition of a sport. Oh, Kemp Hemmers is in. Can't see why any football fans in grounds in grounds until October at the earliest. I think the safest thing to do is void. Health comes before money. Agreed, mate. And Darren, hello, mate. Good to see you. Greetings all. Trust you're all keeping well. We are, mate, as much as we can do, I'm sure. But yeah, I agree with Kent completely 100% on this, because we should not be putting people's health at risk because of money. Now, I'm not just talking about football. I'm talking about the world over. All sports, employment as well, for that matter. Companies are making cutbacks in these difficult times. Totally understandable. What impact is that going to have on the people's health, both mental and physical? They don't give a monkeys. I don't care. I don't care. They rather than just having their CEOs and all that lot take pay cuts until the world's back to normal. I don't give a monkeys. I don't care about it. That's the same thing with the Premier League. I don't care. I don't care about you and me. I don't care about the football players. They just want to make sure that they keep the money for the season. That's all they care about. And it's a real shame that the Premier League is that thick and ignorant that they can't stand up and say, sorry, no, we just literally just, hang on a second, guys. Sorry, just need to, my battery's running low. Hang on. I thought I had enough battery on it. Bear with me, still here. Right, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. So I thought I was a bit more well maintained than that. But yeah, guys, as you know, as I said, it's just I don't see why the Premier League can't, because, you know, for example, the Olympic Games next year looks like it's going to be played at the last week, from the last week of June to the beginning of last week of July to the beginning of August, first week of August. Why can't the Premier League just go, no, shut up? I know it affects everything, but the Euros have been put back a year. Why don't we just deal with it that way? It's just suspend it and replay it, and once we all get back together. Yes, all right, and then do 4 or 5 games a day, as people are talking about, in a sort of a World Cup sort of tournament style, you know, where we see 3 or 4 games a day. Fine, I haven't got an issue with that, but don't do it before the lockdown is lifted. Simple as that. Don't do it until it's back to reasonable health grounds that 50, 60,000 people, and I'm not just saying about London Stadium, I'm saying about in general, the average attendance is 50 to 60,000 people, plus staff, plus local transport, plus everything else is within safety limits for that. And it's as simple as that. It really, 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 really do. Exactly. The West Ham fans sums it up right there in one go. You can postpone football, but you can't postpone life. Exactly. Now, I know that the ratios of people that haven't got any underlying symptoms, that are dying of this condition, of coronavirus disease, is very, very small. But it's there. You know, I mean, for example, that girl was what, 19, 20. She actually died of a heart attack, apparently, from what I've been reading on various sources. But the doctor automatically suggested that it was the coronavirus because he didn't check. So that's medical negligence, if ever there was one. But as I say, at the end of the day, guys, this is the point. If anybody's going to be culpable for this, it's the Chinese government because apparently when the first case was reported, that the government told him to shut up because it wasn't as bad as he was making out. We're looking to lose 250,000 people possibly with this pandemic. That is how big this thing is, and this is how stupid the world has become. That all people care about nowadays is money over everything else. I don't agree with it. I never have done. No sport should risk anybody's life under any circumstances, not just because of a global pandemic. There should be absolutely proper provisions done. You know, because that's why there's been so many upgrades to equipment for footballs, and even that doesn't really make much of a difference nowadays. Cricket, you know, cricketers have a lot more padding than they used to. Rugby, they're they don't have any padding at all, but you know what I mean. There's always things that have to be done, done in a certain way. For example, if the games are played within before the lockdown's done, how the hell are they going to be able to reinforce the fact that you can't get more than 2 meters to each other? It's going to be a blast of goals. It's going to be boring. It's going to be like watching Sabutio. We don't need that. We just really, really don't need that. You know, and it's just. But anyway, guys, let's see what else is everybody else is saying. Where is it? Darren says correct, plus. Not really sure what he's going on with that. Ketam says your health is your health. Money can't buy that. Yeah, BUY. But yeah, agreed, mate. 100%. This is the stupid thing about it. Okay, this is the fact that I'm loving it from one point of view because all you guys are agreeing with me from what you're saying in the comments. But as I say, you know, there's just all sports should be cancelled no matter what, or suspended. What I should say, no matter what, until this is dealt with. It's as simple as that, guys. Thank you very, very much for your time. I know I've waffled on as I usually do. I was going to say thank you to everybody that got the channel to 1,530 subscribers, but that isn't the case anymore because somebody did unsubscribe. So we're still one person away from that target. And of course, it'd be nice to get to 1,600 by the end of ideally by the end of May, if not maybe end of April, maybe the beginning of May. But where are we? So we've got a couple more here saying Boris Johnson got the coronavirus because he acted too late on it. Yep. Well, he got it. He would have got it eventually because of the amount of people that he's around all the time. He would have got it no matter what. Darren says everyone is involved in sport. Exactly. Everyone involved in sport. Exactly. That's the point, mate. Exactly. And thank you again for everybody to seem to be agreeing with me. So, as always, I'll try and do some more content for you when I see new content and anything worthwhile talking about. We're all talking about the same thing at the moment. I'm gonna try and do some more content for you, both live and recorded. But just keep it posted. There's a potential we're in this for the long haul now. So I can't do daily content all the time, but I'll do content as frequently as I possibly can. As I said, I'll try and do about 2 or 3 times a week. So it's only Tuesday. We've got 4 days left of the week. Yeah. Of course, the weekend. Of course, you've got Wednesday. We've got 5 days left of the actual week. So I'll try and get another couple of videos, of at least one more, maybe 2 videos in for you. So guys, thank you very much for your time, and as always, look after yourselves and each other. Be mindful of who you're walking about. Be mindful of what you're doing. Be mindful of your cough. Just be mindful in general. And I hope to see you again very, very soon. You take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your week.